freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 405 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by AZFirearmsAuctions.com, where you set the price on guns, ammo, and accessories. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Today's theme is protecting faithfully, and our guest is Kym Zadrozny. Kym has worked as a businesswoman for a Fortune 500 company and 3 startup businesses. Kym's personal experience with harassment and assault motivated her to take a stand for the mature women. Mm-hmm. Mature women are often targets of domestic abuse, physical and sexual assault, harassment, and threats. She is a United States Concealed Carry Association instructor and a member of the Arizona Church Security Network.
Fantastic.
Welcome to the show.
Yes,
welcome,
Kym.
Thank you.
So, I am a woman of a particular age, my own self.
Why?
So,
21.
Yeah. Plus,
She's
right?
21, but we've been married 38 years.
Yeah, figure that one out.
That adds up perfect.
It's creative math. And so this is so important because often many of us weren't raised with the idea of, being firearms carriers or, really focusing in on self-protection. And so I'm loving that we're going to have this conversation today, but talk to us about your own personal experience with harassment and assault. The way we read you in, it almost sounded like it happened at your Fortune 500 company.
Oh,
so I want to clarify that was not the case.
It wasn't. It was here in Arizona. My daughter had a condo down in Scottsdale. My husband passed away when she was 18, but when she turned 21, she became a binge drinker. She had 3 deaths in 3 years, which is a lot for I don't want to say a child, but a young adult, immature. Well, she got a boyfriend that took advantage. He was 35. She was 22. Well, I tried everything. I talked to my FBI friends, and I was never a big time gun shooter, just playtime. But with this boyfriend, I had tried everything, being nice, not being nice. Well, when my daughter was in rehab, he assaulted me. The police department came, and here's what they told me. And my FBI friend came down and he says, well, you're not going to arrest him? They're like, no, he just punched her in the head. At the time, I was a 60-year-old woman. He was 35. They gave him an assault charge, and they didn't even take him to jail because this was that peaceful protest going on then. And I looked at him and I said, you're not going to take him to jail? He says, no, we can't. We just don't want to make any ruckus.
Wow. He just only punched you in the head.
And this is in Arizona.
And this is what they told me. I got a concealed weapon and I had it. And they're like, you should have shot him. Really? I go, my daughter's in rehab. What would make me, if he would have kept coming at me, I would have probably broke his kneecap, but I wouldn't pull my gun unless he had a weapon on himself or, he was taking control of me. But no. A weapon is, a weapon can turn against the person very quickly.
Well, and it is the method of final last resort. So I do applaud your self-control and understanding the legalities of what was going on. You understood the legalities better than the officers, it sounds like, because so you're saying that it was during like our summer of love, right? When there was just all these peaceful protests, burning cities down, and everything was very emotionally inflamed. And so
everybody's all irritated to begin with. And this is the clincher on that one. or boyfriend, I had a restraining order on him.
Well, that tells you just exactly how much
You
that piece
already
of
had a
paper
restraining
really...
order on him,
Yeah, I've
And then
had
he hit you?
7. Yeah, I've had 7 on him.
and he hit you after that, and they didn't arrest him.
No, they gave him an assault charge. They're like, well, we don't want to, take him to jail, because it was down in Scottsdale. He goes, we don't want to take him to jail. And I'm like, really? And their answer to me was, you should have shot him. No, I shouldn't have, because I would have made my daughter have a bigger mental breakdown. She's
Well,
already in rehab at
right.
that time.
Well, they probably didn't
So-
want to take him to jail because they were afraid he'd get beat up for hitting a woman.
Attacking a woman. So, please tell me this person is no longer in your world.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And
Where'd you bury
so-
him at?
Stop it.
Okay, you take him up north, you just drop him in the canal.
Stop,
Okay.
both of you. So it's kind of like the show Yellowstone. Take him to the
I
train
love that show.
Me too. But listen, all the people out there that are going to write us letters now, we are just joking. And here's how you know we're joking. Because Kym already expressed that she understood the law, the legalities of, punching somebody in the face does not instantly require the use of a firearm. But you carried through with that, and you got the training with USSCA, the United States Concealed Carry Association. So talk to us about that journey.
Well, when my daughter was doing this, and if anybody doesn't think you're on the other end of it, I was the addicted parent, because I'm trying to do everything in my power, whether good, bad, or indifferent. It doesn't make a difference. People think if you have money, don't have money. It's an addiction. It's we call it mental wellness, because we're trying to help people. But
Yes.
during this time, instead of, my daughter's like, well, you should be on antidepressants. And I says, no, I shouldn't be. I feel like I need to go help one family just like myself. So if they can get through what I did. So I wrote a book on empowering women, and I have probably 10 licensed now. In fact, tomorrow I leave for Michigan to go get my weapon Cerakoting certification, because all my guns are pretty colors. They look like Louis Vuitton, they're pink, they're blue. My dad goes, what do you need them that color? Women aren't scared when a woman trains them. Think about it. Would you let your husband buy you a pair of shoes, let alone a gun? And there
Don't do
are
it,
women
Dan.
that should not have guns. And I
Back
tell them that,
about 20 years ago, I bought Cheryl a purse. She made me take it back.
It's true. Now you learned his lesson.
A very big lesson right there.
So true. I'm sorry. Where were you going with what were you saying?
with that, I saw a need for the mature market, because women, like for myself, I don't want to look like, nothing personal, a man. When I go shooting, I have a cute dress on with my leggings, and all my tennis shoes match my outfits, and my gun bags match my guns, because they're all Cerakoted. I have a pink, purple, green, Louis Vuitton one, a Chanel one. So I learned, and I build guns also.
Oh, wow.
I got very involved because I wanted people to realize I was never law enforcement, military. I was daughter enforcement.
That's true. But you bring up such a good point, is that we do like to accessorize, and there's got to be men out there too who would prefer like their own unique color
That's what
of
trucks are.
gun.
People do with trucks. Men do that with trucks.
It's true, because you can get the black, you can get the desert color, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I want the pretty colors. Like when I trained, like last year alone, I trained 9 women over 80, had never ever touched a firearm, and women listen and they are good. But I go, let's try this little pink one first. Then we're gonna go to this rainbow one. Now we're gonna go to my one that looks like Louis Vuitton. And they're like, okay.
Fun. That
Because
is
you
so
want to
cool.
make it enjoyable. Even when I give a lesson, I says, okay, you golf? Yeah. Okay, relax. We're going to pretend like we're golfing, because you don't want to scare them.
Yeah. No, that's
When we go, think
fantastic.
about when you go to the shooting range and you hear the guy next to you shooting a 45,
Yeah.
you jump. And I
You
go,
do.
that's common. So
Yeah.
I want to make it a good experience, and not every woman should. In fact, I'm coming up with a program for older women with canes that have cement in the bottom of them. So if they get in a situation, just whack them with a cane.
Oh, interesting. So some more non-lethal methods. That is really great. So when you joined the USCCA, was that for just personal learning? Was that for your personal protection? Was that to teach? What was that part of it?
Actually, it started off, I got some private lessons. I had ordered a gun. My dad had gotten it for me. He lives in Florida. I'm an only child. And I wanted this little SIG. He's about this small. They made 1,000 of them. It took 4 years to get. Well, I always had a 9mm. He goes, I go, what bullets does this take? My dad goes, well, you should know. Well, guess what? Stubbornness, and through my daughter, I decided I'm going to become a gun instructor. I don't know what I was thinking, but I've taken my EMT license, and with our church group, monthly we have classes. The more certifications you have, if you decide to carry concealed anything, the less chance you have. Well, you're going to get a civil lawsuit, I believe, in this environment, no matter what. If the guy stabbed me 1,000 times and I shot him, I still would get a civil lawsuit, even though
because you shouldn't have been there. You shouldn't have been there, right?
Yeah,
you and I know that. Just like look at New York City, that poor guy. You know what? He's trying to do something good, and they're making these bad guys look like they're good people. Us good people, my dad carried a gun for 50 years, never pulled it once. What does that tell you? We're not the ones doing it. We are educated.
Exactly. Well, go ahead.
But I want to look good if I have to get another mugshot.
Yeah. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but it's just kind of weird that, back in the day, women didn't go into gun shops, and and women were abused. It seemed like even more back in the day, but it was just not newsworthy, at the time.
Oh,
and I know. And now that women are getting involved in self-protection and whatever, it's great. And the good thing, the big plus about all this is that women are going to change the whole map on guns. It's going to be more acceptable. Women talk about guns, they'll talk with their friends. It will grow fast, is what I'm saying. And I think it's great. I think women should be able to defend and protect themselves.
Well, the sign right over my shoulder here, if you can see it past my microphone, says, I am my own first responder.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think we have learned that, if no other time in history, then definitely during the Summer of Love, right? Where there were peaceful protests and everything was erupting and we're defunding the police. Nobody was there to come to your aid. And then the ones that did come to your aid just said, oh, well, he just punched you, so you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. So now you look at a population of females of, 50 and older, right? That definitely describes me. And you have kind of carved out a little niche business to be able to speak directly to and serve that community. How long have you been doing this? Where do you see this going? Do you have lots of people signing up? Talk to us about that.
Yes. But I go down, don't forget, with the churches, with the women, a lot of them were never going to, every church here in Arizona really has security. You wouldn't even know, you guys probably know it, but a lot of people don't know. Every church has security. And what we're trying to do is layer, maybe like some of the women that don't want to carry a gun, they're the greeters, but they can see that something's wrong with this person that's coming in. So they alert the next group. And then you have Johnny Smith. He's 15 and he's trigger happy. You don't want him de-escalating the event. He's going to be your last, form of defense. These churches, think about it. In a million years, did I ever think that it would happen to church? I mean, what, the peaceful protesting, you're protesting a Louis Vuitton store, really?
Yeah. Right.
I think I'd like to protest that. Yeah, I'd like to protest a Louis Vuitton store too. How about you? $950 worth.
Well, the uneducated criminal thinks that churches are a gun-free zone. They don't go to church. They don't really know. But wake up, America, because they're not gun-free zones. And
They are not gun free.
right. And look at the examples of people that have stopped crimes from happening in churches because they are up on everything. So it's great.
Well, one of the programs that I'm personally involved in, we do train a lot of churches, and it's called Faster Saves Lives. And so, there we're able to, it was designed for schools, but we're able to get into churches way more easily because schools have all these layers of politics,
Yes.
right? That people leave their brain at the door thinking that, well, no, we've got this sign up saying no guns allowed here. So clearly no bad guys are going to bring their guns, right? Churches don't have all of those layers of politics, and churches are able to actually put security in place. And it sounds like you've been doing this for quite a while, and you're ahead of the curve on this. So I really applaud that. And so you train for your own church as well as other churches?
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And you
That's
know
awesome.
what? We're going to be going national, but I'm involved also with the 501c, and we help with, we call it mental wellness, but we've gotten these churches to get people like members that are nurses or counselors, so people can go there, because not everybody can be in lockdown like my daughter, or people don't have the money, or they're not going to do that. But at least if they can talk to other people, we all have something wrong with us. I'd like to say I'm perfect, but I'm not even close. Like, everybody looks at me, they're like, you've led the perfect life, Kym. I go, little do you know. And I'm not scared to talk about my daughter and my, battle, but I did not enable myself. I decided I'm going to empower other women. If I can't save my own child, I'm going to empower other women so they don't go through what I've gone through. Like, I'll go down to some of these shelters. It's very still. You can't, think about the lockdown, all the women that got abused, and men get abused too. Don't kid yourself. A lot of women know those trigger words, and they'll get the husband arrested, or, that's called marriage counseling.
Yeah.
I was married 30 years. My husband's deceased now, but we had good years. Marriage is like a job. That's what I tell people. Good years and bad years. Good days, bad days.
Well, I want to raise.
True. You want to raise? Seriously. Yeah, working together and being married 30, what are we, 30?
38.
38 now? Wow.
That's
Usually
what
I'm the one that has the math right.
I would have been married, 39 years.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, we're sorry for your loss.
Could I ask how your daughter's doing now?
Yeah.
Really good.
Awesome.
My cousin, she's my age, she's 62. She'd come out a year and a half ago. Well, I shipped my daughter back to Michigan. She works at Ford as a CAD engineer, but I had to get her out of this environment into an unfamiliar environment. And she's going to be 26. In fact, I haven't seen her for a year and a half. I talked to her about 4 times a week, but I didn't want to trigger anything. So when I go back to the serotonin class, I'm going to meet her boyfriend, and we're going to celebrate her birthday. But you don't reward bad behavior. She's doing good now, so we can reward good behavior.
Good for
Awesome.
you. I love that.
Perfect.
That's so good. And
But it wasn't fun going through.
Oh, right. Well, it's an inspiration, though, to hear you say that there is life on the other side of this kind of stuff.
There is.
I think too often people feel like, well, I guess we got to write that person off, instead of understanding that there is help available, and there's life on the other side. So we've talked about church security. We've talked about personal security, training women of a particular age. Does all of that kind of come together and culminate in this new company that you're developing called Faith Protect? Talk to us about that.
Faith Protect, I started that 3 years ago, and we had Robert Donner Schuler come out. We had some other ministers, because we knew when we were locked down, we didn't think it was going to be that long. It was in May when it first happened. So we were only 2 months in, and we're thinking that everybody flew from California, Michigan, because I'm real involved with the National Church Associations. And we were talking about there was already a mental, problem. Well, we knew with the
Right.
lockdown, it was going to get worse.
Yes.
And through some of my experiences, like when Donna Schuler had come out, she had told me 3 of her friends, they had boys that were in their 30s committed suicide. What is so bad in your life to commit suicide? Well, this lockdown, nobody talks about all the people that have OD'd, you know, maybe they were on the brink, but it just put them over the edge. Could you imagine having your parents in a nursing home and you couldn't go see your parents?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. The people who had to die alone in hospital beds with nobody around them but hospital staff. And the reverberating effects of that for the family that didn't get those moments together and those moments of closure. We can't believe that we're not going to have reverberating impact.
Oh, we're having it. You think about all the people. Well, there's a new drug out there now, because I work with a lot of DEA guys, FBI guys, and it is fascinating, their stories. But women don't want to be trained by them because my girlfriend, she was never going to get a gun. I go, oh, you're going to shoot with me if I'm shooting. So I take her Friday. We go every Friday. Well, the first time she got her gun, she comes over to my house crying. I go, what's wrong? Bill was mean to me. I go, mean to you? Yeah, he had no patience for me taking me out with my new, she got a new little pistol. I go, never let a man buy your shoes, let alone your gun. And she ended up getting rid of the gun in a month. And we got her a red gun. She wanted red. So I Cerakoted it red.
Nice. That's great. And sometimes it really is just a matter of how we communicate with each other. And I have been trained by men and women. Some women are more brash than men and vice versa. So I think it's just finding that good fit. But I love that we have so many women who have stepped forward now to make yourself available like you have, so that, who you connect with, you are going to have such a powerful impact on changing their lives and the lives of all of their sphere of influence, because they found a teacher that they really connect with and not a drill sergeant.
No. And you know what? I've had fun too with, ex-Navy SEALs that train, but I tell the boys, you know what? You get rough with me. I'm older and I'm meaner.
That's fantastic.
You got to practice, getting shoved down. Well, I go, somebody might have to help me up. I'm 62. Everybody thinks I'm a little younger, but I'm 62. But I go, if you shove me down, when I shove you down, I'm going to shove you a little harder.
That's great.
Well, back in my day, you took people out, and it was stupid, but you took people out shooting that never shot a gun before.
Think about it.
You started them with the biggest gun you had, the most, and then you laughed about it. Ah, look at that. It's so stupid because, we didn't think about.
So instead of scaring people
Right.
like we used to do, you're starting them out not only with tools that are appropriate for somebody that's new, but then you make them pretty and fun besides.
Right.
So I love this. Talk to us just before we wrap up. So Faith Protect, specifically, what is Faith Protect?
Faith Protect is a company that we donate to the churches, and the organization is MOGA, and we donate to the churches to help them get staff so that when people have issues, we learned that instead of opening up like a wellness center, there was too many red tape with the government. Well, the churches, they're set up for that so they can take in and help these people. And we've got it set up where they can go on Zoom. We've got it in 5 states now, but we're trying, we're getting more money as we go along, but we sell like, you can see it. This is a cross whistle, but he can also be a little weapon. And then this is a police whistle, but
Hold
see,
him
they're
up a little
decorated.
higher, just a little higher. And then the other one, let me see the other one.
He's a cross whistle.
Okay.
But you can use them to stab somebody too, if you were to need to.
Oh, they've got sharp edges on them then.
Yeah. And then what, we make stuff like this. We tried, and then like if people want, but see the little bullet slices?
Yeah.
That's empowering, men or women, but women would probably wear this.
For your earrings and your necklace. That's pretty.
But
Very cool.
We make this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have crosses, but yeah, we tried to keep it very clean, and we wanted to help with the mental wellness. I think we have a big, think about it. We're letting all these illegals come over. What do you think's going to happen? There's going to be more drugs, more trafficking. Scares me to death.
Yeah, for sure.
It's doubled.
It's
So think about
real
women.
problem.
We're older. Our eyesight is the best weapon you can have. Stay away. I don't go out late at night. And if I have to, I know where I'm going to go. But if it looks unsafe, I don't need to go.
Right. I agree with
And
that.
I'm not texting on my phone when I'm getting in my car. I tell people that situational awareness is one of the most, you don't need a weapon. A weapon can turn on somebody. That's what people, and
the
think
other
about
side
it.
says that a lot, actually, and they use that as a fear tactic to understand it as a reason to train more effectively. That I can appreciate and understand, to say, here is a possible situation. So here's why we're going to train, to be sure that you have control of your firearm, or maybe realize there's a lot of people that go through training and what they realize is that maybe a firearm doesn't fit their life, doesn't fit their needs, and that keeps everybody safe too.
But Kym is right. Aware of your surroundings is 95%.
It is big time.
Because if somebody knows that you're aware of your surrounding, and these predators, they watch, and if they know that you're confident and you know where you're going and you know what you're doing, they're going to look for the person that's not.
That's true.
Because it's just like
I'm always hopeful. I'm always hopeful.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Well, Kym, this has been a delight. And just as we start closing out, will you tell folks how they can follow all the work that you do, become involved in Faith Protect, buying some very cool jewelry and helping to fund these mental wellness programs for churches? Just give us your websites, your social media pages, however we can follow you.
It's faithprotect.com, and all our social media is on the left-hand side. And you can see, in fact, I'm making a set for women ages 50 and above for our churches and for USSCA, because think about it, there's like intermediate handguns for women or beginning handguns for women, but it doesn't just have to be for women, but we're trying to get them just to be comfortable. I don't care if you want to shoot, but I help with marriage counseling too. And I helped this couple. Well, he drank at 3:00 and they were married for 40 some years. She'd never shot a gun. I go, do you realize what you're doing, letting him do this? And she shoots now every week, and she's 80, he's 80. And I said, she goes, boy, Kym, now I understand.
Yeah. No
you
doubt.
can't be leaving stuff around. And if somebody's drinking, that's a no-no. Firearms and alcohol a lot of things don't mix with alcohol.
That's true. That is so true. Well, thank you again so much. I know that we will see each other again. We're both here in Arizona. I'm passionate about church security. You're passionate about church security. This is a wonderful connection, and I'm so glad to have met you.
I'm glad that I met you too.
All right. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Kym.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
So it's super important to think about, that women need to be protected as well as men. And I just have to say, when we're out, I feel even more safe, because not only am I there to watch, but you're there, and my daughter's there.
Exactly.
And so if I
team.
get caught off guard, then you're going to be there.
Absolutely. And, when you think about our aging population and you think about how vulnerable really anyone is, but then, you put the varying, you've got this 30-year-old young man is punching this 60-some-year-old female. There's a size difference, there's a strength difference, there's so many disparities with that. And maybe the fact that they had the common connection of the daughter is what kept it from escalating. Certainly on Kym's side, she said, if I harmed this person, it's going to harm my daughter mentally even more than where she already is. Imagine you're in the parking lot,
Right.
There's no other connection between the person punching the older woman in the face. That can only go in the wrong direction.
So our takeaway for this program is that, you need to learn how to defend yourself, but more important is that you need to learn what you can and can't do. And,
Yes.
as we were saying, there's the anti-gunners are saying that people that have protection are going to end up them using that protection against them, a firearm. And the more that you are aware, the more that you train, the more the chance that can't happen.
Exactly.
And you need to get involved. You need to train.
I think that really is, the core underlying message of the whole conversation is that training is the key to safety, right? And just again, with the little sign behind me, it's the DC Project. Our whole thing is education is the key to safety, not legislation.
Right.
Right. The young man that punched her in the face, he darn well knew that was not an okay thing, if not an illegal thing. If he had a restraining order, then he knew it was illegal to even be around her.
Right.
So it's education is the key to safety.
But just because you have a restraining order and he punches you in the face doesn't mean you can shoot him.
Exactly.
And that's why it's so important, to know what to do. Don't be a victim, but know what to do.
Exactly. Well, that was fun. And, Kym and I just kind of met online. She saw what we do and had this podcast and all the stuff we do with advocacy for the Second Amendment. And she reached out and she said, I would really like to talk to your audience about what I do and that I train women in a certain category of age and so forth. And I'm right here in Arizona. So I was like, heck yeah, let's definitely connect. So we have such an incredible blessing to interact with people that otherwise I probably would have never met Kym, right? We live on opposite ends of the valley. But I want to thank you, Kym Zadrozny. Did I say it right?
Yep.
Zadrozny? I think I did. And also all of our amazing listeners and viewers from all across the nation. Wherever we have internet on this planet, we have viewers. And the fact that people are expressing that interest in our subject matter experts and the subject matter itself, that is just really, that lifts us up in the work that we do. And when you want to go back and watch this show or any of the shows that we have out there, we're on YouTube, Gunstreamer, any of the platforms that you get your video content. Please be sure to click the subscribe and the notifications, because that tells the platform that this information is valuable and wanted, because there's plenty of voices out there that want to say that, oh, those gun people, they're just these fringe elements and nobody really wants to hear about guns, or that we're somehow spreading hate speech and that sort of thing. So when you hit subscribe and notifications, that's powerful. So please do that. We appreciate it. If you want to listen to the audio only version, because maybe you're at a Sunday drive or out for a bike ride with the beautiful summer weather that's coming here in Arizona.
I think we already hit 100.
Summer weather.
We already hit 100. So all you people back east could say, it's your turn now.
That's true.
But our turn is short. It's only a couple months. And we have these things. I think it's called air conditioning.
Thank God for air conditioning. I'm telling you.
We have them in our cars.
In the car.
And we have them in our homes and our businesses too.
It keeps us from bursting into flames. Let's be honest. So if you want to listen to the audio only version of our shows, just go to our website, GunFreedomRadio.com, click the on demand tab, and
binge listens to your heart's content, darling.
What was that little choreography? Oh, my hair.
Yeah.
Nice. And when you want to see photos and bios and links to all of the guests we've ever had on and all of their works. Same website, click the guest tab. It is an ever-growing database of information. And when you spend time there, we don't hate that. All right, until next time, pray for our nation, pray for our leaders, right? Even the ones that we're frustrated with, and maybe especially the ones that we're frustrated with. And I think that is an ever-growing list, unfortunately. We need more representatives. Let's pray for that as well. And until next time, be good to each other. Have a great week, and God bless.
Bye-bye.